Israel's health ministry says 777 people hospitalized since start of Iran war. The health ministry reports that since the beginning of Operation Roaring Lion on Saturday, 777 people have been evacuated to hospitals, of whom 86 are currently hospitalized or in the ER. 4 are in serious condition. 2 of those cases are not directly the result of missile strikes. 20 are in moderate condition, and 58 are in good condition. Another 4 are undergoing medical evaluation. Dozens of people have been hurt in accidents while running for shelters. U.S. Embassy in Kuwait hit by Iranian drone. Warning issued over continuing threat of missile and UAV attacks. The U.S. Embassy in Kuwait said Monday that people should not come to the facility as an AFP correspondent saw smoke rising from the diplomatic mission on Iran's third day of retaliatory Gulf attacks. There is a continuing threat of missile and UAV attacks over Kuwait. Do not come to the embassy. Take cover in your residence on the lowest available floor and away from windows. Do not go outside, the embassy said in a statement. U.S. Embassy personnel are sheltering in place, it added. Israel launches new strikes in Lebanon. IDF says Hezbollah sites targeted. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, said it has carried out another round of airstrikes in Lebanon. According to the military, the targets include Hezbollah sites such as weapons depots and other infrastructure in several parts of the country. We have begun an offensive campaign against Hezbollah. We are not just on the defensive. Now we go on the offense. We need to prepare for several days of fighting, many. We need strong defensive readiness and continuous offensive preparedness. In waves, Israel said. Smoke seen rising from U.S. Embassy in Kuwait City, AFP. Smoke was seen rising from the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait City, AFP reported. There was no immediate word on the cause of the smoke or whether there were any injuries. Authorities have yet to issue an official statement on the incident. 31 killed in Israeli strikes on Lebanon after Hezbollah rocket fire. Israel vows heavier assault. At least 31 people were killed in Israeli strikes on Lebanon, the country's health ministry said, after rocket fire claimed by Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah. A senior Israeli commander said the military would intensify its campaign following the cross-border attack. Hezbollah chose the Iranian regime over the state of Lebanon and initiated an attack on our civilians. They will pay a heavy price, said Rafi Milo, head of the Israeli military's Northern Command. The strikes continue. Their intensity will increase, he added in a military statement. U.S. F-15 fighter jet downed over Kuwait. A U.S. F-15 fighter jet was reportedly shot down in the skies above Kuwait early Monday morning. Iran's state media IRNA reported, citing local sources. There has been no immediate official confirmation from U.S. or Kuwaiti authorities regarding the claim or the circumstances surrounding the incident. U.S.-Israel attack Iran. Iran's security rules out U.S. talks. Iran vows no compromise after Khamenei killing. Ali Larijani on Monday dismissed reports that Tehran is seeking dialogue with the United States as tensions continue to escalate across the Middle East. Taking to X, the Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council said, "We will not negotiate with the United States," rejecting a report by the Wall Street Journal that claimed he was exploring renewed diplomatic engagement through Omani intermediaries. A day earlier, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi condemned the U.S. strikes that killed Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, calling them unlawful aggression and signaling a firm response. Speaking to ABC News, Araghchi said, "What the United States is doing is an act of aggression. What we are doing is the act of self-defense." The U.S. and Israel carried out joint airstrikes on Iran on February 28, even as nuclear talks between Washington and Tehran were underway. Khamenei was killed during the operation. In retaliation, Iran launched missile attacks targeting U.S. military bases across parts of the Middle East. The United States and 6 Gulf nations condemned what they described as indiscriminate and reckless missile and drone strikes, calling them a dangerous escalation that threatens regional stability. "We will not negotiate with U.S." Larijani denies outreach claim. Ali Larijani, Secretary of Iran's National Security Council, has rejected U.S. media reports that he sought to restart nuclear talks with Washington. "We will not negotiate with the United States," he wrote in a post on X. His statement came after the Wall Street Journal reported that Larijani had made a fresh push for talks through Omani mediators following the killing of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Kuwait intercepts drones near capital amid Iran retaliation. Kuwait's air defenses intercepted a majority of drones that approached the capital in the early hours of Monday, according to state media. Brigadier General Mohammed al-Mansouri said Kuwait air defense personnel neutralized the drones as they neared Salwa and Hawali, close to Kuwait City, at dawn, the Kuwait news agency reported. Al-Mansouri said there were no injuries and that the situation in the country remains stable. He did not attribute the drones to any specific country. The incident comes as Iran has launched waves of missiles and drones at U.S. allies in the Gulf, including the UAE and Bahrain, in retaliation for U.S.-Israeli strikes. The Kuwaiti army earlier said its air defenses had intercepted a number of hostile aerial targets. Iraqi militia claims drone strike on U.S. troops in Baghdad as war widens. An Iraqi Shiite militia has claimed responsibility for a drone attack targeting U.S. troops at Baghdad airport, further escalating tensions after the killing of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The group, Soraya Aliyah al-Dam, said it carried out the strike on Monday. The United States and Iraq did not immediately comment on the claim. The development comes as Iranian-backed groups, including Lebanon's Hezbollah, have entered the conflict that began with a joint U.S.-Israel airstrike campaign targeting Iran's leadership and military infrastructure. Meanwhile, the U.S. and Israel continued pounding targets across Iran, striking ballistic missile sites and naval assets. Iranian authorities said more than 200 people have been killed since the start of the bombardment, with explosions reported across Tehran. Iran has vowed revenge, launching missiles at Israel and targets in Arab states. The counteroffensive killed 3 U.S. service members, the first confirmed American casualties in the conflict. Israeli rescue services said strikes hit multiple locations, including Jerusalem and a synagogue in Beit Shemesh, leaving at least 11 people dead and several others missing. Mobile internet speeds restricted in Kashmir amid protests over Khamenei killing. High-speed mobile internet was throttled across Kashmir on Monday, following spontaneous protests over the killing of Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, officials said. The step was described as a precautionary measure to maintain law and order. Khamenei was killed in an airstrike in Tehran during a joint U.S.-Israel attack on Saturday, with Iranian state media confirming his death a day later. The development triggered protests and mourning in several places, including parts of India. Kashmir, home to an estimated 15 lakh Shias, saw demonstrations in Lal Chowk, Saida Kadal, Budgam, Bandipora, Anantnag, and Pulwama. Protesters were seen beating their chests and raising anti-U.S. and anti-Israel slogans. Officials said network speeds were curtailed across all mobile service providers in the valley. Meanwhile, police issued an advisory asking media organizations and news platforms to exercise restraint and professionalism. They urged outlets to avoid unverified information, speculation, or sensational headlines, stressing that responsible reporting is key to preventing panic and misinformation.